What's up, fantasy freaks? Had a week off with Origin, and I'm back. 1,162 points. Had the unfortunate mistake to roll back my team and forget to captain Cleary. I was actually hoping that that could have worked in my favor because everybody would have had Cleary, and if he had put up a small score, and Fafita could have gone large. I could have made up a lot of rank, but no, Cleary came through and scored 107, of course, and Fafita only got 65. So, yeah, that cost me, what's that, 35, 42 points. And I would have been back inside the top 500, but no, sitting with an overall rank 508. Not too bad considering that mistake. Looking at the rest of my team, it was a strong week with 1,162 points. And you can see there McCullough, Harris, Papali'i, Crichton, CHN, Moses, Avarillo with the lowest score this week, Peachy, Teddy, Tommy T. I brought back in. That was a late minute decision, and he's named to start this week, so I'm glad I brought him in. He was too good not to have in the team. And Walsh with 44, Curran with 38, so disappointing there. And now he's out for 2 weeks because of COVID protocols, so that's no good. Watson with 42. His minutes are looking a bit dangerous, so he might be a trade for most people. And Johnson was 60, strong. Hines with 50. He's looking like he might have the fullback spot for quite a while. Peps is not looking like he's going to be back anytime soon. And Gamble with 51, so he's making some cash. And he's named again this week, so that's really good for my team value. And Brody Jones with 47, and he's got a break even of 1 this week. So even though he's named at number 17, I think he could get promoted to the starting team. I'm not too sure, but even if he doesn't, with a break even of 1, you have to keep him for at least 1 more week. And Olam with 39. And Peachy's named to start at lock again. He looked real strong for the Titans, and so he could be a really good option going forward in the centres. Avarillo, on the other hand, has got Flanagan named in the halves with him, so that could be bad for Avarillo with kick meters being taken. I know there's some COVID protocols that some of the Bulldogs players didn't follow, so that's why Wakeham's out, and hopefully he comes back so that Avarillo goes back to normal. But Avarillo's got a reasonably low break even of 38, so we can see how he goes with Flanagan and go from there. Obviously, Cleary had his injury in State of Origin, so be interesting to see what's going to come from that. And that's pretty much the main talking points. It's good to see most of the Origin players named to start this week, which was to be expected. So looking at my trades, Watson, with his minutes, a bit worried about them, so I've decided to get rid of him for Burton, who I so wish I got instead of Olam. way back in round 11. I think I worked out it would be like a 200k difference to my team value, and points wise, Burton's lowest score I think is in the 50s, whereas Olam went 2 and some stupid scores, 22 or something. Also, you can see, so with Burton, he has, what does he have? Break even of 41. He's in the halves where he has averaged like 60, high 60s for the 3 games he's played in the halves this year. And I think the first game he played in the halves this year, he played with Luai, and he had like 580 kick meters or something. So I would say he will still do most of the kicking, which is what we want to see. And my main reason for bringing him in is he is just a good safety blanket to have with Cleary. So if Cleary's shoulder injury plays up from here on in, it's good to have Burton in your team. And he's not bad in the centres either, which what you want is want to be bringing in players now who have a high ceiling, who can go big. So when you're playing, when you are using the looping strategy, you can look to have these kind of players and see if they pick up a big score, and then you can play them. And that is a big reason why I'm bringing in Johnston. One, he plays around 17, which is good, and he's come in some real good form, averaging high 60s for the last 3, and he's got quite an easy run coming up. And if we have a look, who's he got? Tigers, Cowboys, Bulldogs, Warriors, Dragons, Eels, Titans. So he's got a really good run home. And if we look at his last few scores, 42, 78, 84. So really strong. And that left edge attack looks really good for the Rabbitohs, and I can see it continuing. So I'm going to take a gamble on him. And he also gives me wing fullback cover. So yeah, Curran missing the next 2 weeks. The only reason I brought him in was to cover round 17, and he was undervalued, but I need a higher scoring player for this week, because Brodie Jones is probably going to score under 20 if he's playing number 17. And other options I had for trades this week: Verrills, named to start at hooker, break even of 15. I just want to see how he goes this week, and then potentially get him next week. And lately my trades, I've been second guessing all of them, so I wouldn't be surprised if I change my mind and get Verrills before kickoff tomorrow night. Is it tomorrow night? Yep. Another player I was looking at getting was Hughes. So I could go Watson and Curran to Verrills and Hughes, which is a cash out option and a gun. Which potentially is a better option. I just like the fact, like I said, Burton is averaging high 60s playing in the halves, and with Cleary going to be out for however long, he could be a real underpriced option. He could make a couple 100k. if he keeps playing like that in the halves. And he is a centre, dual position half centre, and I do think having a couple of centre options is good for the looping strategy. You can get the most out of your centre position that way. And yeah, the other one is Ramian that you could bring in. But I just think Burton has, even if he plays a few games in the halves and the rest at centre, overall he's going to average higher for the rest of the season. Ramian plays around 17 though, so there's that. Looking at other players, Haas break even 67, Ponga break even 81, so they're still too high at this stage. Thompson from the Bulldogs, he's had a few games with only 40 minutes and break even of 67, so he's not really a good option. And JMK from the Bulldogs, break even of 30. Had a look at him, but just don't know. He just might have had a hot patch and don't know if it's sustainable. And Topany at the Dogs as well, break even of 17. Got the second row forward option. Could be a good option if you haven't got the money. And plays around 17, so both of those two players. And I heard Rabati being talked about, break even of 4, and he's starting on the edge for the Broncos, but again, just an unknown when you've got players like Ricky there and Keenan Palacio, whatever his name is. So, a bit too risky for me. And yeah, I just like the fact that Burton covers Cleary, so always got that option available if Cleary is a late withdrawal from here on in, or if he gets rested near the end of the season. So Burton is quite handy to have, and I think he's 59 and 52% owned in the top 1,000. So if you don't have him, I'm probably going to lose rank. And Johnson, on the other hand, is a really good pod. He's like under 1% owned in the top 1,000. So if he goes big, that could be really good for my team. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So we look at my team: McCullough, Harris, Papali'i, Crichton, Fafita, CHN, Johnson, Moses, Avarillo, Peachy, Tedesco, Trebojevic, and Hines. That's pretty much my starting 13 locked in. Obviously, Cleary would take one of the half spots. And then Schuster would push up to the bench. And how much I got? 79k left. I'll be able to downgrade Jones and Gamble to cash out those two and get just probably Haas and Ponga are really the only two that I want because they're proven guns in their positions and gives me what would you call it? Gives me strength in the mids and the wing fullbacks where you've got 3 each, so it's good to have cover in those positions. Yep, so that is my video for this week. I will see you guys next week.